Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all those who are here with us on the pages of EMCC Romania, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Happy to be here today. And as a short introduction on the umbrella of EMCC Romania, we are initiating these lives in the support of the professionals and also those who are in the beginning of, let's say, applying for this practice as a supervisee and having a regular practice of supervision. Last year in 2023, we were having a series of lives where we were bringing to your attention the competencies for a supervisor. You still can find these recordings on the pages of EMCC Romania. I remind you that on the pages of LinkedIn and Facebook of EMCC Romania, you can enter into the conversation with us directly, writing us your questions, your thoughts, your reflections, and we will be happy to talk to you. All this being said, I am welcoming with great enthusiasm my colleagues Sam Pringle and Iuliana Rusei. Welcome, ladies. Happy to be here together. And I invite you to introduce yourself and say a few words.
Sam, would you like to go first?
Oh, Liliana, you're already talking, so there we go.
So, should I start then?
Yes.
So, Liliana Urziceanu, I am a supervisor and I am here with my colleagues, Sam and Iulia. We are together in a peer supervision triad, as I was already mentioned in, let's say, the description of this session. Happy to be with them since, I think, 2021. And yes, we are having a regular practice where we are substituting, let's say, our roles as a supervisor, supervisee, and observers. And I am very thankful for what we are learning together, for what we are discovering together, and how we are supporting together as a professionals. Who would like to continue?
I'll step in next. So yeah, we've been in a peer group supervision for a few years now, and I am also a volunteer for EMCC UK, and I've been involved more recently in setting up opportunities for EMCC members to receive supervision. So the whole area of supervision has been something that I've been reflecting on. So this has been a wonderful opportunity to talk more about what it's like for me to be a supervisee as well as a supervisor, which is another role that I take. And also being supervised by other supervisors, which is another role and a slight amount of difference as well. But yeah, just the opportunity to reflect on that role as a supervisee is something that I'm looking forward to doing today.
Thank you, Sam. Iulia.
Hello, everyone. I'm Iulia. I'm also a supervisor, a supervisee, a coach. Although in the last years, I'm more dedicated in my corporate world because I'm also in executive and insurance. So this is the role probably I'm having most right now in the past 2 years. But still, I enjoy very much being a supervisee and very grateful for these two ladies that we kept in touch after we finished our supervision course. And it's been of great support and Also a very deep pleasure to be in touch with you.
Thank you, ladies. Now I think we can just move smoothly into the topic of today and just reflect on what does it mean to be a supervisee. And let's look on our individual experience and our common experience and just express what do we feel, how do we feel, what is just coming up to us now.
So when you ask that question about what do I feel, when I reflect on my experience as a supervisee, I feel a real mixture of emotions. Rather like coming onto this call today, I might feel trepidation because the fact is I don't know what is going to come up for me. I may well have a list of topics that I want to bring to our group and to other supervision groups that I engage in. But I'm constantly surprised at what other topics or what other areas are coming to my mind because I listen to you both too, because you are also bringing into the room, into our supervision room, your experiences. And because of that, I have the opportunity to reflect on things that I wasn't aware of. So, you know, my blind spots, things that I hadn't reflected on, things that I didn't know were going on for me because of what you also bring into the room. So I have a degree of trepidation and also some excitement that though I know what I might be bringing, I don't know what will be brought up for me. And I think that that keeps me engaged in the process of being a supervisee. That I never find it boring. Let's put it that way. Boredom is not an emotion that I experience coming into supervision.
You know, when I asked the question, I was trying to figure it out what I feel, and I realized that actually being a supervisee, it's about this, mostly feeling, because you never know what is going to come up. So some things you might like, some things you might not like. So sitting with whatever comes, I think that is one of the greatest gifts that we can give ourselves. I would like to say it's easy to be the supervisee. Not quite. It's not easy, but it kind of brings you a feeling of relief. It's I don't know. You cannot have a plan. You don't, as Sam was saying, I only know what I bring in. I don't know what it will be brought for me inside the session. As long as I'm open and in a very good position to reflect, I mean, allow myself to reflect, it always comes out something.
Yes, it's yeah. You have I see myself coming with an intention in the space of exploration. And as you both said, yeah, what will be by the end, it's still a place of discovery, of insights, or maybe can be a space where another question will come up that will still remain after the session will close. It's still something which needs more, or was opening a little bit and needs to be follow up after the session is closing. And yes, I do agree. It's a mixture of feelings and emotions, and which are very different from one session to another. And if I'm just remembering some of our sessions, I cannot say which ones were more dominant than others, but definitely there were sessions when I noticed something was bursting in me more dominant and more stronger due to the context, due to the topic. And I always been in a safe place, and this was counting a lot for me, where I was held by both of you and by what we have created together as a space. And I was allowing myself to be vulnerable. This is what I can recognize. And for this, I am very thankful for this triad. Meanwhile, I was reflecting for this live today, and I realized that the longer the container with the same people, the deeper the exploration, the safety, and the way how the awareness, my awareness about myself, my self-awareness was increasing, becoming, as I said, more vulnerable and bringing on the topic and on the exploration deep emotions and deep topics.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to say as well. I was reflecting on this. I think the depth of our topics somehow grew once our connection grew itself. Because we started from our supervision course, and then we are regularly meeting for about 3 years, I think.
Yes.
I don't even remember when we started. And this is the beautiful thing with supervision. You can never run out of topics. You cannot just, I don't feel I can put an end to this. So, okay, no, I don't need it anymore. It's not like that. It is routine.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about that you also said, Liliana, about often coming out with even more questions, and I think that is a consequence and a benefit of that greater awareness, that when I'm aware of my blind spots and not thinking actually what was going on for me in a particular instance, and then when I'm aware of it, I start to question, oh, I wonder where else that has gone on. I wonder if that's always gone on. And like you say, that actually I'm coming out with more awareness and perhaps more questions, and also greater motivation to follow that through, to continue my self-work. Yeah. So it's not like it's almost answering a question. It's just becoming more aware as to what might that topic be associated with. Yeah. So it's almost like I'm more motivated to attend to myself more, to take responsibility.
And I am resonating a lot with this word of responsibility and accountability, as being a supervisee. I was also reflecting, what does it mean to be a supervisee, looking at accountability and responsibility. Yeah. And to me, this is landing on how to prepare for our meeting, for our session. This is on one side, and it's very strong on me, this accountability, as I am bringing into the space a topic where I need to reflect on and explore. And because we are in a triad and we are having this time together, it is also, I'm more motivated as well to come there and prepare for what it's my part, let's say, because each of us has a part there. And I notice the power of the triad and how much we learn together during these years, being there and experiencing and looking from different lens and different perspectives.
Yeah, there's something for me about being witnessed by having an observer, and we've also played with this as far as having one supervisor and a supervisee and an observer or witness. And there is something about being witnessed by another in a triad setup for supervision, which adds something else for me. Being seen by another, and also that role as well. I really enjoy being a witness when I'm holding the space but not supervising. Yeah, I really enjoy that, and that's something different to one-to-one supervision, and also holding supervision in other spaces too, or having an external supervisor hold the space. Our triad, where we're changing roles, I just really enjoy those different roles that we can offer one another.
I was reflecting now a bit on responsibility, since this word has been mentioned a lot in the past minutes. And I'm thinking that for me, awareness comes with responsibility and accountability. What am I doing with what I'm taking out of the sessions? And now I'm not speaking like an action plan, or that is something that I need to do, but how do I use what is coming up for me in our sessions? And I do believe that awareness makes me more responsible, because once I know things, I don't want to unknow them or to ignore them. Or sometimes I want, but it's very difficult. I cannot. It's just there.
Yeah,
sometimes I would love to ignore them.
We have one question here. Thank you, Vlad, for coming up with this question. And the question is, in which way supervision helped you to be a better coach?
What's coming to mind is by being in supervision, I am experiencing what it's like to show up for myself, to open up into a space, to share. And I believe these are all things that my coachees do as well, and that I'm inviting my coachees to do. So I'm going there first, and so I can experience perhaps some of what they might be experiencing and showing up for themselves, taking that responsibility to do something with what they're noticing. And I think I can empathize, thinking about not wanting to bring some subjects into the room or not wanting to take action. I can empathize with that, and the changes that what change means for me, and what my coachees are going through as far as their own personal change. I can empathize perhaps better with them because I am a supervisee in these containers as well. So I think probably empathy has really helped me be a better coach.
I believe that constantly being in supervision, it makes me be even more present, even more in the moment, more aware that what I am bringing to the session helps me create a better space for the client, in my opinion, because I'm not bringing I wouldn't say my own agenda, but my own emotional baggage at that moment in the session. Also, as Sam was saying, it helps me better to understand also my clients, but also at work. I mean, it's amazing how supervision can service coaches, leaders, or I think any kind of role when you work with people. It gives me a better sense of people's emotions, people's reactions, people's presence. I can be more. Yeah, I think this is the word. I can be more.
Yeah, it's so rich, I would say. And if I am reflecting on my own, being in constant supervision as a supervisee and going in different formats is supporting me to acknowledge and to have this increased self-awareness, because we are discussing earlier about self-awareness, to accept what is coming in a moment from the client, from myself, to be aware of the parallel processes even in the moment, and to keep and hold the space for the client, because whatever I am observing and noticing to myself, the conversation should continue in the moment, and I am conscious about which is my role in that moment. Meanwhile, can share. I learn to share more with the client in the moment, and experiencing, I mean, bringing in the space and mirroring what is inside of me, what I am perceiving via the conversation. And I've seen also that this is impacting the client and is supporting the client to deep dive into the topic and get own insights in the end. So it's something that it's in a continuous dynamic, and while we are developing and moving forward by continuing this practice, so as our interaction with our clients, whether they are coaches, they are coachee, mentee, or teams with whom we are interacting in team coaching as a coach. So that's why it's continuous, and meanwhile it's helping to clean, I would say clean with quotation, clean, let's say, what was remaining there after a session and was still not clear, was foggy, was cloudy, was what is there, what is disturbing me after this session, which I couldn't figure out in the moment. I'm taking with me, and I would say in this moment that I am satisfied that I arrived to the point to take me the minutes at the end of each session and write down, to have that moment of reflection at the end of the session and look at myself and write down about what I noticed and what is in my attention, what was coming at the end of that session.
Yeah, I'm thinking as well that not only, and I'm thinking of the training that we did with Crucial Difference as well, that I learned to be better at taking that time after sessions to reflect. And yeah, I believe as a result of that, I'm able to learn more from the coaching sessions that I do. But also to have the confidence to slow down in coaching sessions, to hold the space for my coachee to slow down and really notice, as you say, Liliana, what's going on. And I'm more confident at doing that as a result of supervision because it's been done for me. And so that modeling that I have experienced, I've really I've noticed the difference that it makes when I can slow down and really hear myself, have someone help me reflect on the different aspects of relationships that perhaps I haven't noticed. And that's been an enormous benefit. And if I can do that as a coach, then I'm believing that's really powerful as far as impact is concerned.
I have to recognize that our practice and our triad, which we have of closing the camera after each couple of intervals of topics, no matter which roles are inside, and we take the time of 2 minutes closing the camera and we are writing down. Yeah. And this was, I would say, a starting point of going on this direction of keeping the notes. And you, Sam, for me you were a very great example, because I remember when you were always talking about taking notes, about your notebooks, and this was also a moment of inspiration for me, and I thank you a lot for that. And after that, coming back after closing camera and sharing something from first the supervisee and then the supervisor, and then maybe the observer, and so on. These are different perspectives, and playing with this type of format, this was helping a lot to integrate such a practice and to feel, I mean, to me, it's something normal, it's natural, it's nothing which is, I would say, difficult, but it's today, it's after almost 3 years of consistent practicing, being there, preparing and sharing, holding all this together.
Now that you mention it, I also became a bit more disciplined in reflecting after sessions, but also after meetings, after important discussions or difficult conversations and so on. I created a habit somehow. I didn't even realize it. Now that you mention it, I just figured out it became a routine.
If we are going to go on, you wanted to say something, Julia?
No, I was thinking, talking to you and having this conversation, that I'm very grateful I did the training with Crucial Difference and with you, because look at where it led us, in terms of growing together, individually and together. Best decision.
Excellent. If we are going to, let's say something to someone who was not embracing this practice up to now, I mean, being a supervisee, what would we say to those professionals, for example, who, for different reasons, were not yet having the chance to practice being a supervisee, this role?
I would say just try it. This is being a supervisee, or what supervision means. It's such a complex topic, and there can be so many answers, but the only relevant answer, it's always the personal experience. Is something that it's worth trying and see how it benefits you. It is a great space for self-reflection, where somebody can hold the space for you, ask sometimes uncomfortable questions, but for me, the space itself, it's so nourishing and safe that it really doesn't matter what comes out. It's just feeling comfortable with whatever comes out. And no pressure of a goal, no pressure of an outcome, just exploring. So this is what I would say, just try it at least once.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons why we've set up taster supervision groups with EMCC UK, is just to give the opportunity to not experience ongoing supervision, but shorter sessions, and to try it, because you don't know, it's all theoretical otherwise. And for me, it's been about just wanting to learn more, wanting to get more, wanting to get more out of my life. It's not just about my clients, but it touches me in every part of my life. And as you were saying earlier, Liliana, about being more present, being less distracted from my life, and to make more of. And sometimes it means letting go of things, letting go of habits that have served me in the past, patterns that have served me in the past that are no longer serving me. But yeah, and trying different supervisors, different spaces, one-to-one, group. Try multiple spaces to understand what works for you, and keep trying. I think that's something else, because I know that my needs have changed a great deal over the last 15 years that I've been a supervisee. So yeah.
Yes, I am on the same boat with both of you. And I strongly believe that if you don't try, you will not know. So how do you know if something can be good or not for you? It's about also what we were just touching earlier. It's about the accountability and responsibility of the profession. Depends where you want to position yourself. I was mentioning earlier also what EMCC is recommending in terms of this practice. So we have some references of how to practice, how much, and of course there are a lot of explanations, and there are articles and great supervisors all over the world. And it's important to start from somewhere and to explore and to see what is happening there. Even in a relation with a supervisor, you can experience different things that with another supervisor, as you also mentioned, Sam. And maybe it's also the question, how do I choose my supervisor? How do I feel? I may feel different with different presences, and it's not that somebody is saying you have to work with that person. I think it's a matter of choice. It's a matter of interaction, and you can have conversations with more supervisors and then choose and take your own, let's say, criteria, if I may say in this way, by choosing with whom you would like to continue. Meanwhile, yes, as you mentioned, as also Sam, here in EMCC Romania, we have this on our agenda to offer opportunities to our colleagues who are professionals as coaches, mentors, team coaches, and be supervisee, and even reflect also on some topics. And that's why we are creating these sessions and inviting the people to join and learn together, because there are valuable learnings, and the power of the group, it's huge. I mean, if we learn a lot in a triad, yeah, in a group of 5 people, you can learn even more, and even maybe bigger groups with 2 supervisors or probably other formats. I think the diversity and the way that we are unique as a human beings as well as professionals can support this richness of learning.
And I think that too fits in with trying multiple types of supervision. So obviously we're in peer supervision here, and many people, I believe, start off with peer supervision. It's less financial commitment, but also it has its own challenges as well. So sometimes it's more difficult as far as personal relationships are concerned, showing up, taking on different roles. So I think engaging in different types of supervising, supervision, having an external supervisor, having a one-to-one, just trying different types of supervision formats, I think is really helpful, because they can all bring up very different learnings.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Ladies, we are, there is a lot to talk about such a rich topics, and I am also mindful of the time that we were allocating for this conversation today. And if we are going to move to the end smoothly and think about some clear benefits and also maybe potential questions that we can leave here in this space, what would be those?
For me, to know myself better, other people know me, but the most important person in my life to really know and understand me is me. And that to me is one of the greatest gifts that I get from supervision, from having yourselves reflect me back to me is a gift. I might not always experience it as a gift, and I may well feel discomfort and embarrassment. But I am truly grateful, because then I'm more aware of what I am doing and not doing. So that has to be for me at the moment the greatest gift. And get in touch. My message is to get in touch with others through professional bodies. I chose the EMCC because I like the research and the competencies and also the accreditation. So there are lots of different ways, but also it's a professional body, and to get in touch with supervisors who are members of professional bodies and that are attending to themselves in whatever way they need to regularly is important for me.
For me as well, it's about self-awareness, knowing myself, building my relationship with myself. Now is the longest relationship we have in our lives. Being more present, aware of my actions, thoughts. That would be mostly.
Talking about benefits, I will add to what you were already sharing. To me, was adding on creativity and introspection and confidence. I would say that confidence in the roles of coaching, mentoring, talking from the professional perspective, as my journey was changing after working as an executive, and I recognized a lot of behaviors which were changing and moving in another spectrum. And yes, with more patience, with more space in the conversation, listening more and listening to myself while the information was landing in the space, and being grounded. I think we can talk about what means grounded. For me, it means mind, heart, and gut. And this is making a huge difference in what it means for me to be in a role of a coach, mentor, or even a team coach. And I was thinking maybe to one question here is to leave is how do you notice And what do you notice about yourself? I mean, this is a question for each professional in a relation with the client.
Yeah. So what do you notice, Liliana, as our host today?
That's a good question. Thank you, Julia. I notice that I'm grounded. And even if in the beginning of this conversation I was anxious, and I recognize this as a pattern of myself, especially when I am in a completely new situation, new context. And this is a new context because it's live, and I am live with both of you. I became calm, and I found again our common space, which is safe for me, and I'm held by both of you, and I am very thankful for this.
Thank you, and thank you for organising today.
Thank you, ladies. We are here at the time, and we hope that for everybody who will look on this live session, there will be something, and we don't know what, that will create a little bit of awareness, of taste, and inspiration. So have a great weekend to everyone, and enjoy the summertime.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.